May 22nd, late in the day, about 4:45. Just my luck. After I got batteries, it's been cloudy both days, so I've just gone ahead now, unplugged the solar panels, plugged in the generator. AC is charging. I'm going to push this up to 100%. The highest it got on its own was like 46% or so. So I got my blue point meter, 26.9 volts. This is reading 27.2. So the blue point meter, the leads, connected to some alligator clips, connected to some battery, or the battery posts. So I'm going to push this up to 100% with the generator. Definitely you can tell the extra capacity from the lead acid. This morning it was at 1%, and we just used power like we normally would if it was at 20%, and it just never went any lower. And then earlier today I adjusted the capacity in the internal menu on this, which didn't make any difference to what it was displaying time-wise and percentage-wise, and I'm not surprised. If you think of it, the battery capacity like a gas tank, it would be like a pear shape. Top half is the lithium, and bottom half is the lead acid plus the lithium. And so it'll go down, I think when this hits about, well, see there, 27 volts. That is the float voltage for a 24 volt setup of the lead acid. So in theory, when we're sitting at 27 volts here, the lead acid is completely full, and we're just charging up, adding amps to the lithium batteries. On the discharge side of things, I think once you finally get down to about 30% on the lithium batteries, so on this display, about 30% is probably where the lead acid will start discharging. So we'll see what that looks like tomorrow once we hit 100%. So after a couple hours, finally did it. AC charger shut off 100%, 82.3 volts reading on the leads, lead acid. This thing thinks it's 28.5, or what did I just say? 28.2, 28.5. We're full up. I just a moment ago unplugged the house and the warehouse. So that was the house plugged back in. That's the warehouse plugged back in. Those plugs are really close, so they don't quite fit good. Anyway, so you see when we got a load, the AC chargers kick back in, and they basically just work to maintain 100%. It's the same when it's on solar. In the middle of the day, if you get back to 100%, it just draws what it needs to maintain 100%. So that's the rig. So no more generator for the rest of the week, and we'll see what our percentages do. Hopefully we get some sunny days again, but we're expecting rain, back to rainy season. Okay, so we're off the generator back into solar, so there's no charging because it's dark out. And this is what we've got. 26.4 volts, drawing 160 amps or watts, sorry. So the unit sees 26.6 volts versus 26.4. That's pretty standard. So we've been draining for probably an hour now at least. Hovering pretty steady around 200 watts, 250 watts. So at this rate, it's predicting 10.1, well, it's moving around, about 10 hours. 26.2 volts. 26.4, always 0.2 off. Anyhow, 122 volts, 60 hertz. So I'm not sure if it's correcting the math. Oops, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Anyhow, I'm not sure if it's correcting the math or not, but theoretically I told it it's got 3,220 watts in its capacity. Now, of course, these calculations are going to be based on state of charge for lithium iron phosphate batteries only, and their voltage curve excuse me, is quite different than lead acid. At 26.2 volts at the lead acid batteries, we're just dipping below the standard float voltage, which means we're drawing only from the lithium batteries right now. The lead acid are still at 100% state of charge. They wouldn't actually start drawing down until I think this thing says close to 30%, maybe even less. But on a typical day, we don't use the entire lithium battery, so I'm hoping that we just kind of stay above 30% all the time. Again, I have no idea what this meter is going to actually show and predict and how accurate that's going to be, because we're dealing with now a pear-shaped gas tank. So we're going to drop from full to half quite quickly, and then it's really going to go very slowly for the last half of the tank. At least that's the way it would look if you laid up the voltage graphs over top of one another. But this concludes the first full day of solar, and then using the generator to get us to 100% on the battery. So you can see it seems like it's dropping quite quickly there. Again, I don't know what the algorithms and calculations are like for this thing, but it would definitely be confused. And that's okay. I just need to observe what it says and what reality is, and then I'll know. That's how it works. They're just numbers. They're just not linear anymore. Before, they probably were at least close. That's the next morning. 24.7 volts. 24.8, that's the closest I've ever seen them. Those agreeing anyway. So 37%. Definitely pretty high, but we had this to 100% last night pretty early. To be honest, I'm a little disappointed at how low that is, but it's been so damn hot. The deep freezer runs a lot more. I didn't take my son's computer away very early last night, so he was gaming for an extra hour. Anyhow, that's what it is.